So again, you got to use that same concept of trying to formulate the chemicals in your own mind to feel what it feels like every time you do drink water, to feel gratitude and humanity, because you need to develop that sensation. Right now, we're all dealing with a lack of these feelings. We want it, but we can't feel it because we're not actually making the chemicals. We're all operating in the sensation of lack of. And when you want something to happen, the only way you can want something is because you're paying more of attention to the fact that you're lacking it. So you have to really put yourself in the position of actually having it. And the body acts like a magnet. The next bottle is love and happiness, and you'll better understand it through that bottle. That can you not see yourself that if you are love, if you are happy, then you tend to attract others that want to be and experience love and happiness. If you're crying all the time, then you don't tend to attract happiness through crying. You just attract a lot of more pity parties and people that want to bitch and complain and get on the same board with you. But have you ever noticed that if you're happy, all of a sudden the crowd comes around and you're all happy? What you feel like is what you will attract into your life. So you have to feel things first to turn the magnet on that will attract the experience that you want to attract. And it will happen instantly. It is a practice. When I was doing all of these miracle type things, it was a 2 week process. For some reason, it took 2 weeks for me. But I noticed that it does happen all the time, instantly. It's a matter of practicing and being able to see it when it shows up. That is the trickiest part, is to being able to notice when it shows up, which is the gratitude and humanity. Now, the next bottle is accepting and allowing. And it's like, if I bought into everybody's negative opinions that no, it's not going to turn out, and you're crazy, and how wild of it, God's going to show up with an airbrush. Trust me, there was Mormons coming in. They were asking me what my connection with God was, and I was saying, well, he's mailing me an airbrush. These Mormons were telling me, no, that's not how God works. You got to get a job, got to buy your own airbrush. And it's like, no, that's your connection with God. Mine, he's mailing me an airbrush. And trust me, a lot of people thought I was crazy. So um you just got to be in this source of accepting and allowing. Accept and allow everything that's currently going on. Accept and allow everybody else's opinions of what you think you can attract. When I wanted to attract a house, I was again on a social assistance. I had no credit, I had no savings, I had nothing while I was living in the most expensive area in Canada. When I said to everybody, hey, I'm buying a house, everybody thought I was crazy because they knew my limitations. So I had to sort of just accept and allow. Everybody had their own interpretations. Accept and allow that, hey, yeah, I don't have any money. Yeah, okay, I don't have, but is that going to stop you? And, the more you can just have the sensation inside you to just accept and allow, the less you have doubt in something. Doubt creates everything. So, with a sensation of accepting and allowing, then you give up a sense of fight. You're not fighting the universe anymore. You're just sort of accepting and allowing and going on. Bruce Lee had the saying, "You're strongest when you go with the flow of the energy." So it's like, put yourself in the flow of the energy of making something happen, and what everybody's saying, just accept and allow, and it's okay. But I'm still gonna, be trying to attract what it is that I want to attract. So then the next one is alignment and harmony. I did notice that I was paying very much attention to there is no help out there. A lot of bad judges, a lot of bad politicians. Everybody was a big bad person. As soon as I was paying attention to that, I had the perfect person in the perfect alignment to make all of that hell happen. But I was in perfect alignment to, have a talk show. It's like there was a cable station that did have community programming, that did want volunteers. I was perfectly connected with the situation to make all of that happen. You know, I did have an ex-husband who did have, well, he wasn't my husband at the time, but he did have a professional airbrush. You know, he did go to work. It was too dusty for him to use. He was connected with a mail service, which he did mail it home to me. So it ended up coming in the exact same way, and I was perfectly connected with all systems, all people that ended up making exactly what I wanted to happen. So you can be paying attention to the alignments of everything that doesn't work, or you can be paying attention to, I'm perfectly aligned with everybody that does make everything happen. And you got to do it without any doubt. So you got to feel what it feels like to be perfectly connected with everybody that wants to make everything work out, and without any doubt. Um, what's the next one? I believe I said there's abundance and prosperity, gratitude and humanity, love and happiness, accepting and allowing, um, confidence and certainty is the next one. Every time I wanted to create everything, every single time, I had a sense of confidence and certainty that it was going to happen. Doubt makes things happen. So, when was the last time you felt confident about everything? Can you feel confident about everything? And people tend to follow you if you're confident. You can say bullshit, but if you're confident about the bullshit you're telling people, people will follow you. You know, because, you know, we're so unsure about everything that as soon as somebody that's confident starts saying something, it's like, I want to follow them. So, and you believe in yourself. You know, when you have confidence in yourself, then you tend to believe in yourself and you tend to walk in your own shoes that you want to walk in. Doubt is our biggest enemy. And there's so many things in our world that makes us doubt ourselves. Everybody out there is going to tell you how to doubt yourself. And it's like, you are a perfect being. You know, you have talents, you have a purpose. You know, God doesn't make any mistakes. So there's something really, really amazing about you. And why not be confident about that? But we're not accessing our purpose. And then that's, so those are the six, and I would put that I use these square water bottles because I put two of, you know, it's abundance and prosperity. I put love and happiness. So there's two sort of like intentions that I put on these bottles. And the next aspect that I put on there is no complaints and no excuses. And this is where you're going to end up finding your purpose. And the only reason that you're alive, the only purpose that you have is to experience every problem that you're dealing with, because every problem is nothing but a solution that needs to be unfolded. Every time you experience a problem, how do you know it's a problem? I mean, really think about that. How do you know something's wrong if you don't know what's right? So why is it you're attracting a problem? Why is it you are paying attention to something that is wrong, while you have to really recognize that the only way you can pay attention to something's wrong is because you know what is right? And, you know, so we're all sitting there saying, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. I know it's wrong, I know it's wrong. But we're not jumping into the solution. We're all complaining, but not offering any solutions. We're not jumping into our game of the solution. We're not being the example of the solution. We're too busy complaining about the problem, thinking somebody else is out there going to solve it for you. And it's like, you are the solution. So that's what your purpose is. That's what everybody's purpose is your problem needs to unfold a solution. Every problem is nothing more than a solution that needs to be unfolded. And how you get there is really cool, and it's by creating your life so you make no complaints and no excuses. Now, this is not to just avoid making complaints and excuses. Try to make complaints and excuses as much as possible. Do more of that, because that's where we've been failing all the time, is we've been trying to avoid the problem. You know, don't pay attention to it, focus on the positive. And that is where we've always gone wrong. That's what will cause cancer, because we're always too busy focusing on everything that's good and thinking that complaining and making excuses is, the, you know, don't do it, just ignore it. You know, Wayne Dyer, the most positive guy on the planet who now has cancer, is saying, as he's trying to find his cure, that every time your brain goes off down that negative path, that's the time you're supposed to tell your brain, oops, there goes my brain again. And it's like, no, that is what you need to transform. So you need to pay attention to what you complain about and make excuses about, and sort of examine what. I'll explain it on the next tape.